has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
I always love every week talking to Coach Terry Bowden. You can catch the Bowden Blitz podcast. It's badass. You can follow him on X at the Bowden Blitz. And everyone knows what he's accomplished as a coach. We love him talking college football on Coast to Coast every week. Coach, you know I got to start with that Canes game in Berkeley, down 35-10. And what Cam Ward pulled out of his arse to win that game, I'm sorry, that puts him back on top in the Heisman for me. The kid Jenny's been unbelievable. They're not giving the Heisman to some kid at Boise State unless he runs for 4,000 yards. I'm sorry. So for me, it's Ward and Hunter, 1-2.
I'm all in. I think that's the 1-2 rate it's going to go at Cam Ward. I think he's the best in the country, and he's the best at leading his team. No team in America depends on their quarterback as much as Miami. That's good and that's bad, but he is by far the best. He can do about anything with the ball. There's nothing he can't do. I'm a little bit concerned about some of the decisions he makes early. It's almost like he's baiting the other team to get a little bit of a lead, but he gets himself in trouble doing some poor, like he threw an interception right after halftime. It was just up for grabs, and he knew that was a bad judgment, but he is so talented, so good. It's kind of like Brett Favre. You got to take the good with the bad. When you get a great one, you got to take the good with the bad.
Honestly, that game, I thought I was going to have another heart attack. I've already had one. I thought I was going to have another one. Like I was losing my mind. All right, tonight we got Utah ranked going into Tempe to take on a tough Arizona State team that's 4-1 as well. They're laying 5.5 the Utes.
I'll tell you, the Utes with Cam Rising, I think Rising is expected to start. He was the reason they were picked preseason to win the conference. They got annihilated by BYU, but he's back supposedly healthy. I don't think they would play him if he wasn't healthy. But Arizona State has a great running attack. If they can keep Utah off the field and keep Cam Rising on the bench where he's been the last 3 or 4 weeks, they can come back and win things. But I'm going with Utah tonight against the spread.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they'll get it. They always own Arizona State. It's just inevitable. All right, the Red River tomorrow in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl, Texas and Oklahoma. I got to tell you, Coach, based on history, that number's too big for me.
Yeah, I think it's too big for me, too. And the fact that the only way Oklahoma could win, because they don't have much offense, is to play great defense, they'll run the football, although they're not going to score very much. Keep Texas offense off the field because they've got too many weapons offensively at Texas. Oklahoma doesn't have ability to score a lot of points there. And I should know Zach Alley, the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, was my defensive coordinator at ULM. And A.J. Millionway, the quarterback coach at Texas, was my coordinator for 9 years. And so I know a little bit of inside there. But I think Texas offense is more than Oklahoma's defense, and that's who's going to have to win the game.
Listen, they've treated Ewers poorly before, that Oklahoma defense. I remember a game he had 3 turnovers against them, and they racked him, and he's been out. Do you think there'll be any return to that?
Well, I'm thinking that's part of growing up, probably learning how to be a quarterback. What is he, a 7-year veteran? He's been there forever, and he's done a great job. But he's a veteran now. He's more experienced. I don't see him making those kind of mistakes in a game like this.
So tomorrow in Eugene at Outson Stadium, beautiful spot, tough place to play. But if anyone can do it, it's this Ohio State team. Man, are they stacked. So I think we lost Coach at some level here. Coach, do I have you?
I got you now.
So,
what was that?
So okay. I was saying, if anyone can beat Oregon at Outson, it'd be this Ohio State team. They're so loaded.
Yeah. I can't. I'm really fond of Oregon. I pull for Oregon. And that stadium, Outson Stadium, I've been there. I coached there. I've broadcasted games. The stadium's not that big, but it's right on the field. There's no room between the stands and the field. It's side by side. It's a great environment to play if you're Oregon. But, man, if you can beat Ohio State, you're better than the Big Ten, because Ohio State, to me, has the most talent of anybody in the country. They're maybe the best team in the country. They just haven't played anybody. And I don't think people know what they're getting, but they're going to know this weekend. But Ohio State, to me, best talent, best team in the Big Ten. And I don't believe it. I think Oregon fits right in with the Big Ten, but I don't believe right now we're going to see them be number one in the Big Ten this Saturday.
All right, how about Ole Miss at Death Valley against LSU? That's going to be a great game. Tough place to play under the lights.
That's the toughest place I've ever coached. I've been there about 7 times coaching with my dad 4 times, 3 times when I was at Auburn. It's the most intimidating home field environment, and at night. And Brian Kelly, the head coach, he's not lost at night. He's 12-0 at night, has not lost since he's been there. But, this is the 100th anniversary of their stadium, and they have added millions of dollars worth of jumbotrons and lights and strobe lights. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's the one place where I have to give the home field advantage a lot of points, because I think that's the difference in these two games. The other thing being LSU was off last week. They're healthy. They've got their players all healthy to go. Ole Miss has been beat up in some tough games. Trey Harris, their star receiver, I don't think he'll play. And so I like LSU again to beat the team and beat the spread.
Yeah, I'm with you, Coach. K-State going to Boulder to take on Prime's Buffaloes.
Yeah, I'm a Deion fan. Deion took one of the toughest jobs in America. Can he be a great Division I coach? Well, if he'd have taken a great Division I program, I bet you'd see a lot more. But he's done a great job at Colorado. But they don't have, again, the athletes to keep going. Kansas State, again, has just got the conference's best team. I think I would pick them. The one thing Deion is not doing, he still doesn't have a running attack. And once you get against your better opponents, you've got to run the football to keep the pressure off your quarterback. They've got a great coach. Sanders is an outstanding quarterback, maybe a first-round draft pick. He probably will be, but you got to get pressure off him, and you got to run the football. And so they have to get better at that. For that reason, Kansas State, which I think is going to be – I think they're now going to give Utah that run for their money in the conference, and they'll beat Colorado this week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you here as well, Coach. Florida going to Tennessee. Tennessee, I had Arkansas last week in Fayetteville getting 14. I think Tennessee gets right at home in Knoxville against the Gators.
Well, if they're going to get right, they need to get their mojo back. They got to go back to being what Josh Heupel is. He's a vertical passing game coach. Everybody thinks he's a run first, throw second because he runs so much, but he runs so much because people are already playing the pass by the time the first play starts. But if he doesn't hit more vertical passes, that's what they've lacked, the vertical passing game to back the safeties off. He runs the inside zone. It doesn't work unless you get the safeties out of there, and you got to throw deep. But when they're at home and they're comfortable, I think that's where they play best. To me, there's no question at home they're going to win this football game. I'm not quite ready yet until I see the quarterback play with a little more consistency on his passing game to say they're going to beat the spread.
So last week I had UCLA in 28.5 at Happy Valley, and they covered. UCLA lost, 27-10. Do you think Penn State handles their business at the Coliseum against USC, who's lost a couple of games?
Yes, I do. I think Penn State will go out there and do what they've been like the third person at the Big Ten. There's Ohio State, there's Michigan, then there's Penn State. They're 5-0 every year, and then they lose a game they're supposed to. Well, they got a very, very good team this year. They're solid, and I think this is a perfect opportunity. Southern Cal is playing below the standard they thought they were going to be when the season began, and I like the talent and the physicality of Penn State, and I think they go out there and they beat against the spread. They win the game, and they beat USC out there on the West Coast.
Does Arizona have a shot in Provo against a 5-0 BYU team laying 3?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Who was that now?
Do you think Arizona can give BYU a game in Provo?
I don't think so. I think BYU gets that one. I think they've got a little stronger team. Arizona is picked pretty high. They've been hot and cold. So again, it's a matter if they get hot, but I do believe I'd go with BYU.
And 20 seconds. Iowa State's in Morgantown against the Mountaineers. Do you think that'll be a good game?
I'm a Mountaineer. I did play for the Mountaineers, or at least I sat on that bench for the Mountaineers. I was a tailback. Every time I go on the field, my dad would tell me to get my tail back on the bench. That being aside, I have a hard time. But I'd love to see West Virginia win, but I think this team is just too strong, and that the old Mountaineer field is going to be one where they have to take loss.
All right, Coach, enjoy the games this weekend.
at a point in time coming off of a wild Saturday of college football. People are consistently peeking over at this board. He actually would not be my number one overall pick, nor would I bet him to be the number one overall pick. I think you got that next wave of NFL players, which is so enticing, which when you see Jaden Daniels come into the NFL and you go, I can get something like that with a guy with just as good an arm.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of a week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was
Lincoln!
But he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
If you're sliding DiVincenzo to the what? Obviously, Terrence Shannon Jr., that is actually dynamic offensively and defensively. So we'll see how it works. I think it's a little bit of a work in progress. Do both teams win? Yes. I don't think at the end of the day, Minnesota could have afforded to keep Cat, Rudy, and Ant with that amount of money.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Fans clamor for Fridays because they know that Uncle Futrelli is going to hook up with Dr. Zhivago. It's Dr. David Chow out in SoCal at Sports Injury Central. You can follow him on X at Pro Football Doc. He's the best in the business. And SICScore.com. So let's get into it. Joe Mixon back at practice, but give me his 6 score, and will he be carrying the ball for the Texans again this week?
I love how you guys are following the 6 score, and guess what? We update it all the time. Based on the latest information, he had the high ankle sprain. This is pointing to be the week that he returns. So we're in the low 80s now, 81, 83 area where he's going to likely play, but perhaps not have all touches. And importantly also, Dameon Pierce, hamstring, the other running back, the number 2 running back for the Texans, looks like it's his first time back as well.
Josh Allen looked like he got his bell rung last week. Do you think he was concussed? They allowed him to go back in quickly. What did you see?
Well, it certainly looked like he took a pretty good hit. It was certainly at least a mandatory head check, either from a buzz down or the referee. It looked like he wanted to avoid the head check, but you can't avoid it. They apparently checked him and put him back into the game. I get it. The video looked bad of a significant hit, and it's a bad look when you have a Bills staff member offering a popper, an ammonia capsule on the sideline to Josh Allen after that. Turns out that was an assistant strength and conditioning coach, not a member of the medical staff. So it's not exactly like he would know about the concussion and trying to do the popper. But it's an interesting, not great look. But Josh Allen is not on the injury report. He was a little evasive in press conferences. I always say for a long time, why don't you have one member of medical speak to a pool reporter after the game, and you can clear these things up? Just like last night on Thursday Night Football, the referee came on immediately and said, hey, we didn't have that enhanced video, or that would have been the punt returner did touch the ball. It helps at least clarify the situation if people would say Josh Allen was checked, and this is how he was checked. And by the way, the person with the ultimate observation and approval is the independent neurologist on the sideline. who lives where? In the Houston area, not Buffalo area. That game was in Texas. So I don't think there were shenanigans, but it is a not best look for the league.
What are Allen's weapons looking like for Monday night? Cook, Holland, Samuel, and Shakir.
Well, Cook looks like he has a turf toe. He doesn't look good. Shakir still coming off the previous week high ankle where he missed. He's not looking good. Samuel has a toe issue. Samuel and Hollins with the shoulder. Samuel and Hollins should go, but Cook and Shakir likely missing for Josh Allen and the Bills.
The Colts offense looked like it'd be playing a lot of backups with Taylor out again and Richardson and Pittman banged up, both of them. But Richardson has a 72-6 score and Pittman a 36-6 score. They were in red zone drills today. Do you expect them to play?
Well, Pittman was said to go on IR. Now he's, did something in practice. So maybe for red zone usage, limited usage, we'll see on Pittman. Anthony Richardson is looking like he will start. His pocket play will be normal, but it's his mobility and running that we'll have to watch with his hip pointer. Jonathan Taylor already out. But a piece of the best news for the Colts might be Ryan Kelly with his neck injury. The all-pro center is back this week, it looks like.
Giants, Neighbors out. What about Singletary?
Singletary is questionable, not guaranteed to play right now. Questionable. Neighbors is definitely ruled out. It's been 2 weeks, really more than 14 days because it was a Thursday game concussion. He got a lot of grief on social media for attending the Travis Scott concert. And, look, I get optics. That's not great, but concussion treatment is no longer sitting alone in a cool, dark room. So it's just bad optics, but I don't think it necessarily delayed his return going to that rap concert.
Bijan and Mooney, they were limited participants in practice earlier in the week, but they were full participants today. Are they going to be under 100% for that game for the Falcons?
No, I think they'll be close. Bijan Robinson's playing through that hamstring. It's mild only. They're just listing him for completeness purposes. He should play. And then his knee as well. Both of those guys should play.
Brian Robinson, what's his status with the Commanders?
Robinson is his knee, and it's more questionable. He did play through last week with it. The good news is Eckler is back, so maybe Robinson can play, just won't have his usual touches. Share with Eckler.
ATN is shoulder problem. How's he doing?
He's doing fine, drinking tea in London as part of his rehab. 2 games for the Jaguars in London.
Watson of the Packers, a 55-6 score. Is Love going to have him back?
I think he's on the doubtful side of questionable. Look, it's great news he didn't go on IR with his E-version style ankle sprain, but I'm not sure that he's ready yet. But apparently Romeo Doubs is back this week from the personal conduct or suspension, so Packers will have a little more firepower.
Warren and Freiermuth, are they okay for the Steelers now?
They should be. They're heading the right direction. What's not good for the Steelers is the center and the right side of their offensive line. And, of course, Russell Wilson is now, quote, fully healthy. So he's on the roster, not emergency quarterback. He's officially going to be Justin Fields' backup waiting in the wings. So we'll see what happens.
And Levis is going, right?
Levis has wanted to go. And, look, Brian Callahan's been true to his word. If he's healthy, he's the starter. He is healthy. And so he is the starter, not Mason Rudolph. Will Levis is indeed the starter.
15 seconds. How do the Friar faithful do tonight at Chavez Ravine?
Well, I hope they crush, for my family. Then we can have some more fun times and have more Blink 182 anthems played at Petco Park. We hope they crush.
The Friar faithful and Dr. Zhivago. We got to get San Diego to beat the Dodgers tonight. All right, Dr. Zhivago, have a great weekend, David, my man.
Thank you.
we're at a point in time coming off of a wild Saturday of college football. People are consistently peeking over at this board. He actually would not be my number one overall pick, nor would I bet him to be the number one overall pick. I think you got that next wave of NFL players, which is so enticing, which when you see Jaden Daniels come into the NFL and you go, I can get something like that with a guy with just as good an arm.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was Lincoln! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
If you're sliding DiVincenzo to the one, obviously Terrence Cheney Jr., that is actually dynamic offensively and defensively. So we'll see how it works. I think it's a little bit of a work in progress. Do both teams win? Yes. I don't think at the end of the day Minnesota could have afforded to keep Cat, Rudy, and Ant with that amount of money.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we get back into the NFL Pain Day Skinny with a story of Orange Sherbert out in Lipstick City.
Orange Sherbert against the Orange Crush coming up this week. The Chargers off the bye will head to Denver to see the Broncos. Of course, the Charger offense before the bye wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard. Little power running game, not much in terms of passing. Justin Herbert says during the bye, worked on a lot of things with Harbaugh. I think we're ready to explode now.
Complete trust in our offense, to be patient and understand that, hey, we're going to get things right. We haven't played the way we want to, but it's not. There's never a time to panic, and it's not to panic and doesn't help, and changing things. I don't see it that way. I see it as a confidence and a faith that we're going to get things right. We got the right guys out there. It's a new offense. It's a tough offense. We're gonna get it picked up, and no one is panicking or worried about that. And as long as we're moving forward and getting better, that's all you can ask.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that against that Denver defense. That's my problem. They couldn't do it against the Steeler defense either, but he only played that first half in that game. So I think it's a big test for the Chargers. I think they're going to have their hands full. The game's in Denver, right? I think they're in trouble.
I do too, and the Chargers are favored here. Chargers are 3-point road favorites in Denver right now. This total, of course, we gave you this number, I think it was yesterday or another day this week, 35.5, lowest total in the NFL so far this year, and those have been hitting at a pretty good clip, anything under 40. I kind of like the Broncos here, Scotty, getting that 3 at home.
Yeah, and I think you're right about the under. The last time, they played that Steeler defense, it was 20-10, right? So that was a 30. So I think this thing goes under as well. I kind of like Denver at home, to be honest with you. I'm riding that defense until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I'm with you. Denver and the under for me out there. All right, it is time. A weekly tradition, unlike any other here on Coast to Coast. The Steelers are in Vegas this week against the Raiders. We always need Mike Tomlin's weekly words of wisdom heading into this week's game.
But more than anything for us, it's about getting back to business, and getting back to business is winning and putting together a plan that allows that to happen, dividing the labor, highlighting the skill sets of the people available to us. Certainly we got some people that are missing this week, due to injury, but we don't waste a lot of time focused on that. To be quite honest with you, we focus on the readiness of those that are available and how we divide that labor up.
Dividing the labor up. Words
always,
of wisdom as the Steelers go to sin.
Lots of road favorites this week in the NFL. We gave you one just now with the Chargers. Here's another one. The Steelers at Allegiant against the Raiders, -3 for Pittsburgh. 36.5 is the total here. Wilson is going to be the backup. Tomlin said today he did enough work this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that he is fit to play. Fields will start. Wilson, for the first time this year, looks like he's available to get into some action.
Yeah, neither one of these offenses does anything for me, but the Steelers' defense does something for me, and I think it keeps it under, and I think Pittsburgh wins the game by more than 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that they keep it under as well for this game, and I think the Steelers, this is going to be like the Charger game, 20-10. Something like that. It's going to kind of fall right in those lines.
I can't lose this game. Honestly, it's
can't lose to the Raiders.
Everything else is bad enough. I can't have another loss. Like, the Raiders stink. Like, beat them. Go out there and beat them and run it right down their throat.
Don't want it, that's for sure. No doubt about that. Let's quickly also throw in Spencer Rattler. Of course, the Saints will be home for the Bucs. Bucs have been there all week, obviously, with the weather in the Tampa, Florida area. But Rattler making his first career start with the car injury. Very simple, Scotty. He wants to look towards Chris Olave.
Man, dude's different. I make it a key point when he's in, get him the ball. It's that simple.
That's
there
simple.
You go.
I mean,
so give me Olave on an anytime tutty.
I mean, look, watching that, I guess we have to put him in the mix for the anytime tutty this week. I guess our boy Shaheed's going to be out in the cold. Another road favorite, Tampa, -3.5 in the Dome against Rattler making his first start with a 41.5 total.
I mean, that number there scares the hell out of me, that 3 and a hook. It really does. I'm tempted to take the Saints and the 3 and a hook in the Superdome.
Hard for me to do that. I got no idea what we're going to get out of Rattler. Just no idea. It's complete mystery to me. He could be all right. He could be awful. I don't know.
We're at a point in time coming off of a wild Saturday of college football. People are consistently peeking over at this board. He actually would not be my number 1 overall pick, nor would I bet him to be the number 1 overall pick. I think you got that next wave of NFL players, which is so enticing, which when you see Jaden Daniels come into the NFL and you go, I can get something like that with a guy with just as good an arm.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of a week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
I do sliding DiVincenzo to the 1. Obviously, Terrence Jennings Jr., that is actually dynamic offensively and defensively. So we'll see how it works. I think it's a little bit of a work in progress. Do both teams win? Yes. I don't think at the end of the day, Minnesota could have afforded to keep Cat, Rudy, and Ant with that amount of money.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
got a Danny Dimes citing Carver High.
We certainly do. The Giants will be at home on Sunday night against the Cincinnati Bengals, the 1-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Jones is once again going to be without Malik Neighbors, out with the concussion. That's going to be 2 games in a row that he misses. Hopes to get Singletary back, but he is confident that no matter who is going to be out there, like last week in Seattle, they will get the job done.
Yeah, we've said, all along we're confident in our whole group. And all the guys we got a deep room, in all the skill positions. We have a lot of guys who can make plays, and you saw that on Sunday, guys stepping up and doing that. So, when we say we have confidence in them, it's not just, lip service. We really do, and there's a lot of guys who can make plays for us.
Look, I think this team has a shot against the Bengals to win this game with that pass rush of theirs, and this guy. I'm getting a little tired of hearing about how awful he is when he's got really good numbers. I mean, the guy is doing a great job. He really is. You can't tell me he's not worth $40 million right now, because there's guys making $60 million that aren't doing it. And this guy's making $40 million, and he's doing it. He's doing it every week. He just came off the win in Seattle. We showed you his numbers this week on Coast to Coast. They're better than Aaron Rodgers. So, flat out, I'm sick and tired of it. The guy's doing his job. He's doing everything you could possibly dream of for him to win football games. You can't say a bad word about him. They're not a bad football team. I'll tell you what, this Dexter Lawrence, he is a savage mother Ferrella rushing the quarterback. Joe Burrow better have a swivel on his head on Sunday night, because he's going to get racked.
Lawrence has been outstanding, having an all-pro season there in the front for the G-Men Big Blue. They lead the NFL in sacks with 22, so they have done a great job. They are another home dog here. Bengals minus 3.5, 47.5 is the total. Sunday night under the lights at MetLife in Jersey.
Yeah, I'm on the G-Men
Big Blue for you. I like the under on Sunday night again. I like a lot of unders this week. 47.5 is the total. I think that it probably leads to the Giants covering if the game's under. If the Giants can hold down that Cincinnati offense a little bit, keep Chase down.
What was it? It was 49 in Seattle. I don't think it's I think they got a great pass rush. I don't know if they have a great defense. The one thing that they do well is it's kind of like the Steelers. They rush the passer really well. So they put a lot of pressure on him. But look, Cincinnati can score. They score in these games that they play. So I'm thinking points in that game Sunday night.
There you go. We're back in London again this week as well. Early 9:30 a.m. East kick.
Tiffany's.
At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, just like last week. But this week we get the Jaguars and the Bears. Of course, the Jags, like last year, are doing the double dip back-to-back weeks. They will be in London. Next week they have the Patriots at Wembley. This week they have the Bears at Tottenham. Bears minus 1.5. 44.5 is the total here. I like the Jags here on Sunday. They finally got off the schneid last week with the win at home over Indianapolis. They're 2-0 playing at the Tottenham Stadium where they are here. They obviously play more London games than anybody else. I think advantage for the Jaguars.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy all that, that they have some kind of edge over across the pond. I think, they are what they are. I think they stink. I think they blew a giant lead against Joe Flacco, tore them to shreds. I mean, if Flacco gets the ball one more time, the Colts win that game. I mean, Flacco was unbelievable. I mean, what he did with Pierce was truly spectacular. And I got to tell you, it bums me out that he's not going to be playing, that they're going back to this kid. I get it. He's your star quarterback, but, hopefully he'll get injured again in the first 10 minutes like he always does, and it'll be Flacco time again because Flacco's the one that makes the Colts go. So for the Jags, to me, I just am not impressed with them at all. I thought they got lucky in that game in Jacksonville. I thought they would cover. I thought they'd win by 7 to 10 points and finally get off the schneid. They didn't do that in my view. I thought they got lucky. I think the Bears are flat out better than them. I think their defense is going to give Lawrence a just absolute nightmare in London. I think they're going to go after him. I think they're going to pick him off. I won't be surprised if the Bears defense scores a tutty off a pick. I like the Bears.
There you go. London early on Sunday morning. The Cardinals are in Green Bay against the Packers. Packers minus 5.5, 47.5 total, 1 o'clock East kick.
I'm worried about the number, to be honest with you, but I think the Packers get straight here, right? Like, to me, they haven't looked that good, and Arizona pulled that thing off last week at Levi's. That was amazing. So, again, the same situation. You give a guy like Murray 5.5 points, and he's got that ability to come back, the ability to strike, the ability to third and fourth quarter go off, the ability to garbage time, the ability to backdoor cover, the ability to steal a win. He's already proved he can do it time and time and time again. I'm concerned. I'd be more into a middle where Green Bay wins and Arizona covers the 5.5.
There you go. You were talking about the Colts quarterback situation before. Richardson, it looks like, is going to be okay to go. Obviously, Flacco's there when he gets hurt, if he does eventually. Will Levis on the other side is going to start for the Tennessee Titans off of their bye. Indy into Tennessee. Now, the Colts were favored early in the week. That was when people thought maybe it was going to be Flacco again. Now, Tennessee is favored, minus 2.5 with a 42.5.
Yeah, I think Will Levis stinks. I think the Titans stink, and I think the Colts are going to beat them.
I think the Colts are going to beat them, too. I like the Colts with you, plus the 2.5 coming up here this week. The Cowboys head home, where they need to get a win at home for once. They, of course, have been smashed at home a couple of times this year. All their wins have come on the road so far. Detroit comes in off of a bye, 3-point road favorites, another road favorite here. Very big total, 52.5. Dallas has beaten Detroit straight up in their last 6 meetings. 3 points, Cowboys getting at home.
I think the Lions are better than the Cowboys, hands down, and they're coming off a bye, and for me, they get it done in Jerry's world and cover the number. I think the Lions win the game. And not only that, I think they beat them by 10.
Double-digit win for the Lions there in Big D for you this week. All right, double digits. And finally, Atlanta into Carolina against the Panthers. Also late window kick here, 425 East, minus 6.5. Another road favorite. Falcons, 46.5 the total.
I got to be honest with you. I think the Falcons are just flat out better. Again, another team that's got a better offense, a better quarterback. Like the Red Rifle, okay, whatever. Thanks. We've already seen it. I'm not that, overwhelmed by it. Cousins can sling it. They can score. I like their receivers. I like their running game. They've come up big in games. I think the Falcons win in Carolina and cover.
I think the Falcons take care of business in Carolina as well here this week. All right, we'll come back. We'll finish the NFL with the most popular bets. We'll give you some touchdowns, and then we'll start to get into the baseball, of course. We have a Game 5 tonight in Los Angeles, a Game 5 tomorrow afternoon in Cleveland. We have to look back at the Yankee game last night, so a lot to do baseball-wise after we finish up the NFL when we come back.
The baseball has just been fantastic, and now I'm just watching to see if the Friar Faithful can get it done. And who are the Yankees going to play? We're going to find out tomorrow afternoon. During all that college football, there's a big baseball game going on. It's crazy, 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 crazy.
We're at a point in time coming off of a wild Saturday of college football. People are consistently peeking over at this board. He actually would not be my number 1 overall pick, nor would I bet him to be the number 1 overall pick. I think you got that next wave of NFL players, which is so enticing, which when you see Jaden Daniels come into the NFL and you go, I can get something like that with a guy with just as good an arm.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
If you're sliding DiVincenzo to the what? Obviously, Terrence Cheney Jr., that is actually dynamic offensively and defensively. So we'll see how it works. I think it's a little bit of a work in progress. Do both teams win? Yes. I don't think at the end of the day, Minnesota could have afforded to keep Cat, Rudy, and Ant with that amount of money.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, the most popular bets, and then Carver High's weekly Tutties extravaganza.
Yep, this is who everyone is going to the window with this week. Over 60% of the bets, 81% on the Lions, 81% on the Steelers, 79% on the Falcons, 76% on the Bills, 74 Commanders, 71 Bears. You got the Broncos, Bucks, Packers, and Bengals on there as well. Lots of the favorites, a lot of the road favorites here. Some of the more popular bets this week.
Well, then that'll end up being a bloodletting. If everyone's betting those, then run the other way. Just run as fast as you can and hide and bring a bottle of liquor.
That is usually what you need to do in a situation like that, that's for sure. Here we go, some tutties for Sunday for what I am looking at. Let's see here. I'm going to go to London. I like ETN in the London game. He scored every time they've been over in London. I'm going to take that plus $1.45 for him. I think the Commanders might be down and chasing in this game in Baltimore. He has gotten better and better, more connections with McLaurin every single week. Plus 170 for McLaurin to get in the end zone. Najee Harris has not scored a touchdown yet for the Steelers this year. He's gotten a lot of red zone touches. I think that ends this week against the Raiders. Plus $1.60 for Najee. Now, Alec Pierce was a couple things for me. I'm thinking Flacco had a good connection with him. Even if it's Richardson, maybe Pittman's going to be out. Now it looks like Pittman might actually play a little bit. I don't care. Plus 280. Alec Pierce for the Colts. The number was nice. Laporta also has not scored yet for Detroit this year. Dallas has not been good against tight ends. You saw Freiermuth score last week. We've seen several tight ends score against the Cowboys. Plus 210 for Laporta in the Lion-Cowboy game.
I think they're all great, so let's see what happens. I think they're money. I'm all for it.
Money. We got off to a good start with Week 6, that's for sure, last night in the Thursday night game, and hopefully we can roll that over into Sunday. We swept the board last night. We like when we can say that, so that's good to do. Nice 3-0 sweep of the touchdown board. Hopefully we can get again. I'll take 3 out of 5 there if I can on Sunday. I'm always happy with it. Go for another sweep. That's good for me too. So there you go. NFL Week 6. Pain day coming up for you this week. All right, baseball also very important this weekend. We have Game 5s tonight, tomorrow afternoon. Game 1, NLCS Sunday night. The Yankees will play Game 1 of the ALCS on Monday night. That is because they eliminated the Royals last night, 3-1. They win the series in 4 games. Great 7 innings from Garrett Cole gets it done. Final call of the Yankee win. Your boy John, WFAN in New York.
And Weaver deals to Coryell. A high fly to center. This is it. Judge is there. He makes the catch. Ball game over. American League Division Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Well, listen, it was Sally time after that puppy, so they got it done. I thought Cole was fantastic. I thought Gleyber Day came out, double. Soto ripped an RBI like the 3rd pitch of the game. They had a lead. I thought Stanton did it again. It was good to see Judge have a double. They're in the championship series. That's all that matters. Both New York teams are in championship series, whether you like it or not. I know everybody wanted, all this other stuff, the Brewers and all these other teams that don't matter. They just don't matter.
It does not matter.
Whether you like it or not, both teams in New York are in the championship series, so get used to it.
Get used to it. You're going to have to deal with it. That's just how it goes sometimes for you. For Aaron Boone, it is his 3rd time leading the Yankees to the ALCS. He has not gotten across the line, though, to the World Series. So there is some more work for Aaron Boone to do here.
He will this time.
We get to go play for a pennant now, you talk about you get into spring training and you want to put yourself in position to be a playoff team, win the division, check. Now it's on to the ALCS. Certainly this hopefully is not the end of the road for us, and we expect more. But you got to savor these times too, because to get down to the Final Four here, and I feel like be in good shape from a team standpoint. I feel like we're playing well. I feel like we're pretty well rounded. We're not perfect, by any means, but I'll take our chances.
Yeah, they have a good enough team to win the whole kit and caboodle. They do. It's that simple. Now, look, I think the teams playing tonight are both very dangerous. I think the Mets are better than the Yankees. I think the Mets already proved they kicked the Yankees' ass in the Subway Series all season. The games in Queens, the games in the Bronx. Look, I think they're the most dangerous team in baseball right now. I don't think it helps them that they're not playing again, that it's over and they're in, and they've kind of fallen off the table for me since they won. It's been a couple days, and then they're going to play Sunday night, so they're not playing tomorrow. They're going to play Sunday night, and I think the teams that are just consistently playing are more dangerous, just like the series that we said, look, teams that were idle, they're all in trouble. The Yankees got it done because they're just flat out better than the Royals. And I hope Patrick Mahomes enjoyed the games. I hope he enjoyed going to both games and talking all of his shack to everybody and, showing people up and then having to bend over and take it from the keister. Hope he enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a very good thing, even if you're not a Yankee fan, to see Mahomes be upset that his Royals lost. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Enjoyed it too.
Yeah, we don't have to hear that. We don't have to hear Bob anymore. So we are now done with the Yankees. And Bob enjoyed it too. And I don't think that 3 days is – I know that week with the wild card round is, I think, very detrimental to these teams. I don't think 3 days is that bad. I think that's kind of like right on the line, 2 or 3 days. But a week is when it starts to get a little out of control, which is what these teams have been to play in the wild card.
A day off.
Play every
day.
day.
The next day you play. You got 3 off. I start
play every day.
Worrying about them losing their swerve.
we're at a point in time coming off of a wild Saturday of college football. People are consistently peeking over at this board. He actually would not be my number one overall pick, nor would I bet him to be the number one overall pick. I think you got that next wave of NFL players, which is so enticing, which when you see Jaden Daniels come into the NFL and you go, I can get something like that with a guy with just as good an arm.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
I do a sliding DiVincenzo to the one. Obviously, Terrence Jennings Jr., that is actually dynamic offensively and defensively. So we'll see how it works. I think it's a little bit of a work in progress. Do both teams win? Yes. I don't think at the end of the day, Minnesota could have afforded to keep Cat, Rudy, and Ant with that amount of money.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
So I told you all week I was giving the business to people that I'm friendly with that are like Phillies fans, etc. And these people hate the Yankees. I mean, most people hate the Yankees unless you're from here and you like the Yankees. Everyone else in the world hates the evil empire, right? And I like that. I like that they're the big bad Yankees. And the evil empire. I wish there was more of that. I mean, it used to be way more than that back in the day, right? I think they need that again, Mike. And I got to tell you, so when they lost 4-1 to the Royals in game 2, right? And Salvi hit the home run and everything, and I got all these people rubbing it in my face. Where are all of you wuss bags now? Oh, boy, did you all go into hiding. I mean, to tell you, these people... all of them. What a bunch of femmes you are. Go ahead and hide. Go ahead. Don't respond. I don't need friends. I'm glad that you hate the Yankees and they just kicked everyone's ass again. Here they go back to their 19th pennant. They're going to, ALCS. Who's in the ALCS? The Yankees. How's that taste? How are the Phillies doing? I hope the Dodgers go down tonight like a mother forever. I mean, you have no idea. Like, I have no mercy. Sweep the leg. I want them to go down hard. I hope that Yamamoto gets lit up like a bong. And I mean to tell you, I am watching. I'm sure the Dodgers will win. But I want to. And if they don't, then I hope the Mets beat them. I hope it's a Subway Series. And you can all kiss my ass.
Well, I think it's going to be a Subway Series as well by the time that we get there. No matter who.
Let's go.
It's going to be
around here with all your prop bets. Give me a Subway Series, Carver. Huh?
Let's go. Here's Judge. Like Boone, hasn't been to the World Series. Everybody would love to see Aaron Judge finally get on that stage.
It means everything. We haven't, since I've been here with the Yankees, we haven't secured a pennant. So, the group that we have, how special this is. Like, there's excited for this opportunity. It's going to be something special, and what a series for the boys this DS was against a good Royals team. So excited about the CS, that's for sure.
Hey, the Royals were a good team, and the Yankees punched them right in the throat in their stadium 2 games in a row. Games 3 and 4, and everyone and their brother thought that they were going to do better at the K than they did winning Game 2 in the Bronx. And they could have easily won Game 1 because they were up by a couple of runs, and they walked in 2 runs. So maybe the Yankees had no business doing it, but they did do it. Like I said, whether you like it or not.
Obviously, lots of partying again after this game last night. Garrett Cole, 7 great innings for the Yankees. He will have a few days off before he goes again.
It's a boy dance party.
Here is Cole afterwards, very happy and partying with the fellas.
It's a boy dance party.
What is running through you right now?
Fired up. Had a couple IPAs, with the boys, spraying some champagne. This is the greatest.
It's the greatest. Party. It's the greatest. The 19th trip to the ALCS for the Yankees in their history. They will now try to get back to the World Series. Yankees bullpen didn't allow a single run against the Royals in that 4 games, and that will be key for them going forward, because you're going to be facing some teams with some very good bullpen, no matter who it is.
I'm a little dizzy. 27 World Championships.
19 because they
used to not do it that way.
They used to not have an ALCS, so that's why that number looks there. It used to just be, remember, back in the day, if you won the American League, you went right to the World Series. If you had the best record in the National League, you went right to the World Series. So now, since they started the Championship Series play, whatever that was, 60s, I guess.
When they started this documentary about the Red Sox coming back in 2004, make me sick to my stomach.
Well,
the timing of that they brought that out of the,
Well, look, haven't we done enough?
I'm not watching that.
Haven't we done enough movies and documentaries about the 2004 Red Sox? What new information are we going to uncover doing another one? Didn't we do this already?
Tion's funeral. How's that sound?
It was a 30 for 30. They made that dopey Jimmy Fallon movie. How many times do we got to celebrate there was a Red Sox film?
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.